exposing demon spells, opposite sames, and passive versus objective reasoning. Prepare your mind for this, for it might not be easy, but stick it out. My beloved ones, welcome again. Skywalker here. We will begin to put our fingers directly on conventional spells that violently abuse the people by subliminal cultivating principles. They are mostly words and they can blindside us, among other things. They induce mediocre and passive slave mindsets to the masses, making them fit to be subjects. The entire spiritual edifice of your paradigm is word. A world order is made of spirit, which becomes God to you. To connect or relate to it, we have only words, at least at this elementary degree. Anything that can make over your image or mold you into its image is your God, external and possessing you, at least to the degree that it does. It is a culture that is cultivating your mindset, this cultivating factor. This is why we always remind you that the natal order of the divine must and can only be as God internal, man divine. God internal, man divine. Make what use of that as you will. Anything else is a dependency for definition. Dependency for definition is self-sacrifice, for it essentially betrays one's soul by deliberate absolution of his conscience. Conscience is exactly the generic consciousness, but we are not at that point to explain it yet. Suffice it to say that it is the absolute signature of God within us. To say never trust your own understanding is simply to say away with God. For if one man whom you deem as wiser tells you thou shalt steal, your conscience will tell you do to others what you would have done to you. It was born in you. That is what sparks your understanding, which would beg to disagree with stealing. But then he tells you, I am wiser, so do not trust your own understanding. And then, what does it make you do? You erroneously give power to the esoteric and doubt you. And on that first day, it will be so very hard to disobey your conscience, because your conscience, you hear people say, my conscience is killing me. When you keep sacrificing this God in you for what is without, at some point, what is without will be so strong a spell in you that you no longer feel or hear your conscience concerning stealing, that now becomes a norm to you. It becomes easy. We say you sacrifice Christ in you. You sell your soul to a demon concept, and you have no problem doing it now, because your conscience in that regard was slain. The lamb was slain. The one outside of you who controls you in spite of yourself, in spite of God in you, is more than your shepherd. He is your God now. You are subject. This is the title for all those that reside in paradigms of hell planes anywhere across galaxies. More advanced ones might relate to energies beyond the point where words will not attain. But we are not going there right now. These souls have grown beyond humans and become impervious to most demonic cultivating spells. They are now the architect, so the mason can no longer fool them with the architectural blueprint. Soul edifices that are constructed of spirit force are no different from physical structures constructed by physical matter. However, from the divine realm comes the manifestation in the physical. If I tell you to move left with words, these are made into one spiritual structure toward a physical purpose, and it manifests by you moving right to that physical effect based on the spiritual words. Stay with me to the end and press the like button or subscribe if you will find value in this. However, if by definition I tell you the opposite of what I wanted, what do you believe would happen? Say, for example, your word for right was left. You would be under a spell that turns out as a curse to you. For all you do will ever fail. Look at an example of blindsiding the individual with words and asking for something from their subconscious by way of words they believe are correctly speaking to their conscious and which they are in agreement with. But these words are stigmatized by intrusive demons that enter their way to the subconscious under the radar and compel a different response from the oblivious individual. You are tricked by definition and compelled to agree with what you consciously disagree with without even knowing, and you sabotage yourself by drinking the water with the poison in it in order to take the pill that is supposed to be the antidote. The following is one of your everyday mind fucks. Did you know that don't be afraid and have no fear are opposites in effect? If not in meaning as you would define it, then, as I say, in effect. The sense of sameness that you derive from the two are merely superficial. It would be nice if you would pause this video to figure it out before I have to tell you, but I will tell you anyway. Every time you step forward from a boat, you push backward. There will be duality. This is why there could never be bitterness without sweetness. If you say good, then one of the words you trigger to spark in your mind is bad. So, by saying good for the critical mind to reason, it must bounce from the adverse background as light must ever bounce forward from darkness. When you say, do not be afraid, the first trigger is to ask, afraid of what? How will you not have fear if fear is what is presented before you? Do not be afraid is simply a trick phrase that incites fear by drawing attention to it. When someone comes and says, I will tell you something, but do not be afraid, your heart might start beating fast in anticipation of fear. Have no fear. Have no fear, on the other hand, is triggering a condition of no existing fear. You look, but it is not there. It works better to say, have no fear. If you want the person to remain calm, my friend, these are subtle things I want to show you in order just for you to get a sense of there being something more out there, because this is a process and it has to go step by step, so be patient. My friend, you must understand that working with words is working with spirit, and if word magic did never exist, the psychologist and the hypnotist would be out of jobs. These are simple tenets of the hidden science of the divine or the science of the gods. These are simple parts that are afforded to the masses. Hypnotism is magic, which can be of dark or light, but mind science used for evil is sorcery. I have decided at this point in this video to have part 2 and more to this particular topic. I will not label them as such. Just know that all the upcoming videos will be on this. When we change topics, you will know. One of the things we begin to do, starting now and going forward, is defining words to our own satisfaction of what their definition should be. In other words, we will become more conscious of false notions and stigmas that are wrongfully attached to everyday words. And when we accept them in that way, they affect our conscious thoughts through the back door. How? Well, to affect the human body, you can go through his spirit, and to affect his spirit, you might go through the body. The subconscious mind is upon the pinnacle of what is spiritual, for it resides upon the divine plane. The conscious mind, although fulfilled by word, which is spirit, resides but only upon the physical or mundane plane. It is the bridge that connects the two realms. Understand this. On existing physical planes, spirit resides in that which is physical, and that which is physical resides in spirit. To say the earth world is a flat square is only half true, and to say it is round or oval is only half true. To say it is both is to embrace both spheres. It is true. One way of thinking is complete or holistic. The other way is low vibrational and half true, as it is trapped in a paradox. Those that are trapped in the paradox will only have half of the truth at all times. The earth is not a world without the spirit of the earth. The world is not an earth plane without the physical body of the earth. Spirit is word, the world is a spirit. The earth is a physical plane. The earth is round, but the world is square. The mason square. The box, the four corners are wings. That is the true expression or definition. Two together now make one by combining both realms. Now, if we can grasp all of this, we can move forward to remove the sins and spells from our existing paradigm or world order, or those that wrongfully bind, torment, prey upon, or shepherd us on behalf of ulterior forces. Do not leave until the end. I wish you will hear. If you are confused at any time, don't worry. We are at the point where everything gets as simple as 1, 2, 3, or at least by the end of these videos. Now, everything that is created, physical or spiritual, if even the idea comes by intercourse, intercourse as physical procreation we refer to as sex. Every time we have sex, we create offsprings every single time of spiritual and physical value. Yet, only in a very small percentage of these cases do we create physical children. The problem is that we are not aware of the spiritual to the degree that we understand what we create by promiscuous and careless intercourse with just anyone or anything anyhow. When you can't read and someone tells you that SHIT spells sugar, but because he is so bright, you believe you got the best intelligence instead of seeing that the most intelligent man was trying to curse you with a spell on the go. Every time you open your mouth to order sweet sugar, you get shit perpetually, forever on the go. But you cuss and blame them all around you who try to warn you until the spell is broken. They say that SHIT is shit, my friend. Be careful of what you order. But you say no. Shit is not sugar. You shut up. Do you know who taught me this? I went to the best college and there is my degree on the wall. And I know big words. Columbus, Balosmos, Kalosmos. That is proof that God is in the sky. Can you pronounce Chikikizmi? My friend, it is awful. People can confuse you by useless means of intellectualizing, but the value in what they told you was already obviously flawed. In that same way, we do not know what spiritual children are produced by us taking external spirits to us willy-nilly. A thief will go through the back door, for they might be caught trying to enter through the front. When ideas that you believe were yours enter through the back door under the radar by it being subliminal, it does not ascribe to conscious scrutiny, but it enter your divine mental realms where it becomes a part of your processing equation. It is a, it is um it is downloaded to your processor, so it is going to bring the result in your everyday life as if it was your idea. You begin to create by using templates you think are your own, but they are not. There is a name that describes this most deadly spell of sorcery. It cannot be more accurately described by any other word. It is called a mind fuck. This is what is deliberately done to you by design, and slowly I will expose them to you. I will also keep repeating so you will never forget. Mind science used for evil is sorcery. There is one principle that will prevent the mind fuck. Stick up it. If this word bothers you, please absolve the trouble in you and authorize its meaning. Don't blame something correct in its circumstance for no reason. That something which was not even your idea was cultivated inside of you for the same reason. That same thing that we are here to dispel. This same thing we are here to dispel is inside of you when a word is a problem to you, but if you look at it, there is nothing wrong with the word in context. This is another deep topic that will require that you rebel. I must tell you this, and even more important than you pass, it is even more important that you pass this particular test. I don't care if you go to church. It is important. It will be regarded as the best definition at every level, including the elite. A mindfuck. And its positive effect on your mindset goes beyond any other attempt by far to remove the spell. Welcome to a higher level. So, how do we prevent mindfucks? Simple. By being objective and not compromising the critical mind. When we agree to accept predetermined ideas like what word is indecent without scrutiny, we open the back door. It is like a woman who covers the front of her pubic area and then she turns around, bending very low without cover on the back. But this was even worse to compromise than the farmer. Wasn't it? Everything is intercourse, masculine and feminine. How we avoid intercourse or how we protect our vulnerabilities, our internal privacies and secrets, how we maintain our autonomy as souls with free will, how we deal with intercourse or how we do not. But in all of this, we have to always see as important how we do not close the front door and then expose the back door opened. The physical and spiritual realms work the same gargan way. As above, so below. What was created in spirit replicates in the physical. A mind had to have intercourse before the body could get laid. If you dope someone and lay with them, it is not intercourse in terms of that reciprocal or mutual effect. It is more outrageous, like the same F word that makes you wince. If it were not so awful, so possessing or defiling, you would never feel disgusted at it. Do not accept in the physical the spiritual fortitude that disgusts you, or it goes both ways. It is just as bad, or even worse, in the spiritual realm, for there it continues and becomes who you are. No longer are you having mutual intercourse, but now you are being fucked and not knowing it, because you are under the drug, the sex drug, the spell that holds you in bond. So we are talking about passive and objecting reasoning, or passive and objective reasoning. And we are talking about demon spells. What is a demon and what is a passive mediocre mindset? Why are the masses deliberately compelled into this way? And what is it good for? My friend, I will not make this one video too long, so this will be the topic of my next video. What is a demon? And let's say it will be a part of that topic, because we'll be continuing the whole thing. But all these words, as I say, we will find a proper definition that will perfectly suit our minds better than what now attains. Let me leave you with this. Some women that are labeled easy, whores, and other demeaning words are not so at heart. People call them all these names, but they are not so at all. They are just it's a mind thing. The problem they have is low self-esteem, that they see themselves as so much less and have no problem subjecting or submitting to every other energy. This is a thing. It is a spiritual culture, and those that rule these circles know them, for they come from the same wisdom that defines paradigms. A paradigm is simply a woven spell of words to the degree of a persona, the character of the plane. The earth is a terrestrial airplane soaring around in space. To reside here and have a world where people will live understanding and cooperating, there must be the spirit of understanding, compromise, and reckoning. There must be order. Those who create this edifice, or even those who are put to govern it, will be seen as the gods of the world. World paradigms can come and go. You hear about new world orders all the time, but those that elevate to spiritual intelligence by doing this also number themselves among the gods and make themselves the authority instead of peasant slaves. My beloved, we shall continue this conversation. Peace out. Like, share, and subscribe.